This will not necessarily please all directors, but when I was a very junior person at Fortune magazine, another very junior thing getting started was the Fortune 500. And after a few years, I was put in charge of the editorial charge of the Fortune 500. And I didn't know anything about accounting at the time, but the 500 was really all about accounting, and so the 500 taught me about it. And the more I got into this subject, and I came to like it and to pick it up pretty easily. The more I got into that, the more I realized the latitude that Fortune 500 CEOs have to make their earnings look almost any way they'd like to make their earnings look. It was a great revelation to me. I learned more as I went along. I learned about insurance accounting, which is about as gross an exhibition of this as you can find. And I, in general, felt that I could never look at the Fortune 500 and what CEOs do with their earnings the same way. And that really sent me off on a career of writing stories about managed earnings and their not so great cousin cooking the books. I'm of the school that Sarbanes-Oxley has been good for the business community. We aren't seeing as many scandals as we saw in the maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And I think you have to give it credit for what it did. But the opportunities are still there in many ways for companies to manage their earnings and make their quarterly earnings look like they'd like to have them. Eventually it catches up with them, but in the meantime, a lot of companies, a lot of people may have been fooled. I think that the challenges for boards have not changed that much, but that doesn't mean they're easy. The first one I would say is the boards need to remove, when it's necessary, the pleasant and nice and even honest CEO, but the guy I shouldn't say guy because it could just as easily be a woman these days, but the person who just isn't good. And boards are not very good at this, and they should try to get better because it's so important. The second thing I would say is that boards need to look, and this has always been true, at mergers and acquisitions that their CEOs want to put through. As far as I can see, CEOs are obsessive about making deals. And that is their excitement in life, and they are often want to go into deals that they don't hold up to close inspection as to whether they're good. And I think that boards have to act as a restraint and to realize, particularly in deals that involve the issuance of stock, which is really selling part of your company, that they need to be monitoring this and holding the CEO back when it is not good for the company. And third, I think that the issue of CEO compensation is never going to go away, and that CEOs, there must be a rational plan, a logical plan for determining the CEO's compensation. And the compensation of other high executives flows from that. And if boards don't come at this with the seriousness it deserves, they just simply are not doing what they should.